Hello, this is Oddleif from Communic, and you are listening to Dave Softee's Metal Meltdown at Metal Messiah Radio.
Desolation from Alrighty, here we go, Metal Maniacs. Please help me welcome back to Metal Messiah Radio. Hailing from Mandal, Norway, from progressive, heavy power thrash metal band Communic, we have the frontman, always a pleasure to talk with on guitar and vocals, Mr. Oddleif Stensland.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Oddleif. Welcome back to Metal Meltdown. How are you doing out there, sir?
Thank you. Well, we are doing pretty okay. There, we probably have the same kind of issue in the world up here as you guys have, and you guys have a new president as well.
Yeah, so, yeah. People are dancing in the streets for that, but
I guess so.
Not to be political and all, but you get what you get, and Trump had his following. I think people, they wanted something different because they didn't like the norm, but then when they had him, he didn't learn to shut up. He kept talking and talking, and the more he talked, the worse it was for him. He did it to himself. He probably would have won if he kept his mouth shut, but it is what it is.
But it was exciting watching from the other side of the world, and you see it's like all over the news, and it's the eyes are watching.
Exactly. So I have to say, it's an honor to get with you again, and again, the perfect timing, because Communic has a new offering and we get to promote it. It's the band's 6th release, Hiding from the World, due out November 20th. So it's coming out real soon on AFM.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's coming out now the 20th of November.
How have you been during the COVID pandemic, Oddleif? And did it have any effect on getting this music made?
Yeah, a little bit, because when we was in the beginning of this year, we were starting out in the studio in January. We was starting to record the drums, and then at the same period, when we was recording the drums, this came to our country, and we had to leave the work in studio. We had to let it rest for a bit, because there was some stuff going on that didn't made us come together and work as we did prior to the shutdown. So we had to wait a little bit, but we recorded the drums in different studios. So when we was recording the drums, we was still working on the guitars and the bass, and so it had some effect on the whole process, and it kind of got delayed in the end, because we actually wanted the album out in around September or something like that. So that was the original plan. But then, the studio recording took a little bit longer because of this. And also the mix was kind of messed up a little bit about it, because we had some different people mixing it in Germany. And so all together, it was like a little bit delayed because of it. I actually thought about maybe delaying it even more, like into 2021. But in the end, it's just like, get the stuff out and just continue. I think that will be, the wisest thing to do. And that was what we did. And let's just hope that 2021 could be open up for festivals and concerts and stuff, so we can promote the album live more next year.
Absolutely. So I think this COVID has put everybody's lives on hold. I know it affected my business. I was held back for 2 months from working, but when everything was said and done, I noticed a lot of people weren't really being careful out there, some people were wearing masks, I would say, but not really social distancing. And now you see this pandemic is rising. But I just heard on the news that there's a 90% chance that the Pfizer, I think is the company, is coming up with a vaccine. So if that works out, then it looks like we will go back to our normal lives and be able to go to festivals and go see Communic live. That would be a beautiful thing.
Yeah, we of course we hope there is hope in the future. So we will have to see what happens with it. And so so there was a lot of stuff going on in this period, and also most of us, because we have daytime jobs, and we was also forced to work from home with daytime office from working from home. So, and the kids was kind of out of school, so we had to do school teaching as well at the same time. So everything with the free time working on the band and the music was kind of difficult. the older we get, the more difficult it is to find time to actually do this kind of stuff. But because this is not what we live off, we don't live off this band. This band is what we do for the enjoyment of playing the kind of music that we love. We don't make the most popular music that sells like mainstream. So we do just for ourselves and don't care too much about what people think about the music, because it's a little bit difficult for people to get into if they don't know us from the beginning or have kind of the albums is not like easy listening. So and we know that, so it's getting more and more difficult to find time to actually get together and work on new music. And that's why it takes 3 years or more for us to get like just 7 or 8 songs together.
But yeah, creativity takes its time, whatever it is. The problem is, or not the problem, but the issue is that you want to get the music out there that you want to get out there, and you've accomplished that once again. And this is a great follow-up to Where Echoes Gather. And you told me that drums were recorded separately. What about the rest of the offering? Was it recorded and mixed and mastered at the same location as your previous release? Or
no, because the last 2 years I spent building my own studio, just because, it's been a long time dream of completing a studio where I can be more creative and work whenever I feel that I have time to do my work, or when I am creative, without being, I don't need a producer or a different studio to book into. I can do it just whenever I want to.
That makes it more convenient for you, actually, right?
Yeah, it's more convenient. It's not in my home. It's like 100 meters from where I live in a separate building. So I can, when I go out there, it's like leaving the house and you are kind of forced to be there for a while, but if you don't have the creativity, you can just go home. And that is not that easy if you have booked a studio and a producer for like a week or something like that. And you are kind of, you need to force stuff. Now I can just work on it. And if I don't feel it, I can go home and watch Netflix or something else just to empty my head. And I have so many ideas and projects that I want to complete. And that was also kind of the idea of building that my own kind of private sphere where I can do my things I recorded the bass and the guitar and the vocals there, and the drums was recorded in a different studio because the convenience about a drummer living in a different city. So if he was going to do it at my place, he had to travel more. So it was more convenient for him to do it in his hometown. So, and then in the end, because I'm not a producer, I like to write music and use the studio to be creative. And then in the end, especially like this, when we are working on something that we want to be as professional as possible, and we know it's going to be released all over the world, then we need to secure the quality in the end. And that's why I send it to somebody else to mix it and master it in the end. Because when I'm writing or recording this stuff, I want to focus on the performance and not on too much on whatever microphone or whatever. I'm focusing on the performance and not much about the technical whatever, because the gear you get these days is so good anyway. So, but in the end, I like that somebody else is watching over the mix and the mastering to just get a second pair of ears to listen to it and check the quality.
I have to say, I did check out the promos from Hiding from the World, and I must say it's a classic Communic sound. You have that sound, and it's original, and it incorporates like the power, the progression, and the thrash. I just loving the sound of your band for many, many years. And you're not a producer, but who produced this offering?
Well, we call ourselves the producer of this album because it's like we have produced it, but it's mixed by somebody else. And as long as if the mixer in the studio in a separate studio is just mixing your material. He's not adding stuff to it. He's just like getting the best possible sound out of your performance. So if we had booked a producer to be alongside while recording, we would have probably used him for like getting his ideas as well. To should we shorten this song this way, or should we add some stuff, or maybe a producer will tell us, hey, what about trying to do this and do it this way. So there was no like interfering with any producer about how this stuff is going to be other than the sound. So we are the producers ourselves, and we have done that for a long time, until all the way back actually, because when we went into the studio to record the stuff, everything is like ready, from the tempos to the length of the song and the lyrics, and everything is like completed before we go into the studio. So when we go into the studio, our goal is to record our performances the best as possible, because we know what we want to do. It's just like nailing it. So that is the goal. So we don't actually use a producer. So we are our own producers in that sense. I figured that.
But you said you're not a producer, but actually you are.
Yeah, we are a producer, but I'm not like a technical studio. I'm not like that. I'm not too obsessed about gear.
Right.
You know, I don't care too much. I don't need a $2,000 microphone to record my vocals. Of course, it helps. It probably helps. But sometimes just like a normal microphone will give me the result. It's as long as I'm there to deliver whatever I'm trying to do. So if I don't have it, if I don't manage to capture the feeling in my performance, a good microphone, an expensive microphone won't give me that. So it's not, I'm not like a studio geek. That was more like my take on it, because I'm more into using it as a tool to write songs and make the albums.
Right. Now, I want to know, Oddleif, what was the process of writing the music and lyrics for you during this pandemic? Was it different than the past because you were home more, or you could tell us how your experience was this time around?
No, because all these songs was written before this pandemic broke out, and also the lyrics was more or less finished before, and also the title was like clear to us before we even knew about this pandemic coming. So Hiding from the World seems like it fits really well into today, but it was like 1.5 years ago we actually came up with the ideas for that song. So but I'm constantly writing new songs, but those new songs that are written now during these times is like going into my archive and will be picked up later for the next album or the next after there, or some solo project or some different projects. So I'm constantly writing new songs and ideas and stuff that is just like put into an archive, so that I can pick from whenever. And also with the lyrics, I have like ideas and stuff that I've started on and put away, and so for me it's good to have like lots of different ideas and stuff that I can pick from whenever I need it.
That is good news and great to know about that. And would you consider this album a personal album, very personal compared to previous Communic albums? Because I'm listening to the music, and I feel like I'm listening to your soul while you're singing the words, that it's rather personal for you.
Well, that's good to hear, because we are trying to communicate. So it's good that I'm reaching you. That is one of the main goal. And that was like something that we started out with when we created this band, or my ideas about creating music. It's okay to make my own songs and listen to it in my car, but I want to communicate. And that was where we took the name from, communicating. It's like shortened out that word, and that was what we tried to do. And I dig pretty deep into myself and into my thoughts and ideas questions that I ask myself about existence and my own, personality and where we're coming from and where we are going to. So that's a lot of stuff that I put into the songs, and I try to deliver that with some emotions and feelings that I try to connect to. And it's good to hear that and it's not only you that is telling me this. It's good to hear back from the listener that they sense something there, that they feel something there. And of course, for me, it's personal, and it's been that since the third album, and especially after the Bottom Deep album, which was created after I went through a little bit difficult time in my life. And after that, everything, this is the kind of stuff that comes out when I'm sitting down and writing lyrics. And for me, it's not, if I'm trying to write a lyric about a book or a movie or some history stuff that I'm diving into and try to make a story about that, it's not easy for me. It doesn't give me anything. So when I'm sitting down and try to write something or try to find some words, it's usually something coming from deeper within me that I actually don't know where it's coming from, because I'm actually a happy guy, and I'm not going around like with all this sadness in myself. But when I'm singing my lyrics and my songs, this is what comes out, and I've tried to accept that and put it into it, and yeah,
this is outstanding, and it's really refreshing to hear that people are giving you good feedback about this, because I'm sure I'm not the only one that's going to tell you that, because it's definitely a work of art that you really feel is very personal. And I have to ask you a question about the cover art. Could you please inform us on who created and designed the cover art for Hiding from the World? Because when I look at it, I'm thinking horror films like Freddy Krueger or Friday the 13th. When I look at that, it looks pretty scary to me, actually.
Yeah, it's cool. It's made by Travis Smith, who also have made the Opeth albums and the Nevermore albums and Psychotic Waltz artwork. So he's like a really talented guy, and he got the lyrics from me and some basic ideas about what I was kind of looking into it, and yeah, I think it's cool. Freddie Krueger, that's probably because of the hand you see there, but the main idea was kind of a statuette or a tombstone or something like a face-like stone statuette with a hole in his chest, because he was kind of missing his heart, and the heart should be hanging in from one of a branch or something inside a cage, and the key was gone and it was kind of locked up, and so it's kind of something or a statuette overtaken by earth, by the branches and everything like crawling around it, but there is like one hope. There is always hope, I think, even though you are all the way down and you have to fight your way back into life or energy to cope and stick around. There is always hope, and that's kind of also in the artwork. There is one green leaf on one of the dead branches, so that is kind of symbolizing that small hope that we all have.
That's very interesting. Yeah, and I want to ask you just personally about the band. How is the rest of the band as far as their health and safety with this COVID? How is Erik, your bassist, and Tor, the drummer? Everybody's good?
Yeah, everything is fine with us, and yeah, we are just busy with work and kids and everything. So that is like everything is going great. So now and now these days everything has actually gone back to normal, and now it's kind of starting to shut down again because people haven't kind of respected the social kind of distancing thing. But especially for me and Erik, we are living outside of the biggest city. We are living in the middle of nowhere. When I go outside, I'm in the forest. So
you're pretty safe. So, that's good.
Yeah. Well, you need to go to the grocery stores and stuff, but I think it's good that we don't feel it too close. And I know that I have small kids. I have 3 kids from 6 to 12, 6, 9, and 12. And when they get home from school, they can be outside and playing. And I can just imagine people living in the cities, in the buildings, in the towns, and they can't let go outside, and you have to be really creative with TV and video games, I guess, to keep them occupied.
Pretty scary.
So for us, it's like we feel it, but it's not that close. But you never know. So, but in the bigger cities, there is more
population, more headaches,
more people,
and more. If they're not doing the social distancing and not wearing masks and not respecting each other, only a problem waiting to happen. You know that.
That's true. So so we are lucky to be where we are, and kind of, yeah.
Now, getting back to the promotion of the album, you know that touring is very important, but because of the pandemic, we don't really know the future of that. But have you thought of what you may be doing in the near future as far as doing a scheduled tour to promote the album?
Well, the tour is kind of out of the question right now, because that's not possible, because it's like limited to 50 people in the audience, and we have to be seated at the tables, and so it's not worth going now. It won't work. So we need to wait until stuff opens up again, or until you have the vaccine, as you talked about, and we will just have to see. But we have had some ideas about maybe letting people into our place. Maybe we just set up our stuff in the studio and make a live concert from the studio, or bring the audience into our personal sphere or something like that, and just stream it for free on Facebook or YouTube or something like that.
Idea.
And but so it would, if we are going to do that, we need to ensure that we have you never get that energy you get from a concert. So it's like getting it good enough so it sounds cool, I think. So we just need to check it out and see how it works, and if we feel okay about sharing it. So we will have, that is stuff that we have talked about that would be possible to do, and we are not the most touring band anyway, so we are kind of
better safe than sorry. I hope this works out.
We have talked about doing something like that, like more, not like a big production, or not to rent a stage and do like a concert and then stream it. More like, I would rather set up the band in the living room and play it from there, like invite the people into our kind of personal sphere and make it a little bit more personal. So that is what if I should choose doing something like that, I would make it a little bit more like that.
Great. And let's remind people out there that are Communic fans on where they can get merch, get the new offering, and everything that is related to Communic. Now, I went to communic.org and the www.communic.org. Is that website up to date?
It is actually not that updated, because we do it ourselves. And then it's always like the last thing we do. So we had some plans, or I had some plans for next week, like updating it with the artwork and getting everything, because most of the times we just have time to update the Facebook and the stuff that goes out immediately, and that generic Facebook page is more, it's get forgotten about, I think. So that was like, I need to remind myself that I need to do it, and sometimes it's good to just put it away to somebody else to do it, but in the end I know I can do it myself. It's just when I'm doing it myself, it has to be it will be the last thing that will be happening, because I work as a graphic designer as well. So the last my personal stuff is the last thing that would go through the work line. So, but it's up there. So it should have been updated, but it's not like perfectly updated.
It's a work in progress. We understand that. So the Communic fans out there, just keep your eye on Communic.org. That's Communic.org, and it will be updated very soon. Right?
Yeah, and we have the Facebook page as well, and that is where we kind of connect more with the people, because on the website it's more for just the generic information about the band and the releases that we have, and of course we have the merch section there, which is a shop where people can buy some T-shirts and stuff directly from us and get it signed and stuff.
Excellent.
So yeah, it's cool, but it's like if the people who is following us on the Facebook page is more like getting feedbacks back from us, and if they ask questions, they get questions. The Communic.org is more like a generic page where you can find information about the band, and if you need promo pictures, there's a section for that as well, and stuff like that.
Let me give you your Facebook, facebook.com/official Communic. Go there for merch.
That is perfect.
And let's talk about videos. I did notice a couple of videos out there. The official music video, Hiding from the World, and the official lyric video, My Temple of Pride. Would you be kind enough to inform the listeners on the making of these videos, as far as who was the director, the editor, and where this was taking place?
Yeah, that's pretty interesting, because we had actually big plans on making the video, or shoot the video for the first video, the first song, My Temple of Pride. I had like huge ideas for that song, and it just turned out to be impossible because of the COVID situation, and the guy who was coming in from a different town filming this, he was like not able to travel, and so everything with that first single that we released was just ending up into nothing, and we had like 1 week till we had to deliver the video to the record company, and we was not sure about how we could do it. So we ended up filming it ourselves with a green screen in the studio. So, and then we sent it off to a guy in Germany. I can't even remember his name. And he put it together with the lyric and the song and some effects and stuff like that. And it turned out really well. And when we was going to make the next one, because we knew we had planned to make these 2 singles before the album release. So the next song we had decided was my Hiding from the World, the title track. And it's a long song. It's almost 10 minutes. So we wanted to make a interesting video for that as well, because if you're going to keep the attention from the listener for 10 minutes, it's a little bit difficult. But we ended up doing it the same way, filming it ourselves, and we added some stuff that we also filmed ourselves. We went to some local sites from the war, when Norway was in war, and there were some bunkers and caves that you can walk into, and it made it a little bit interesting, like going into the cave and hiding from the world. So it made it turned out pretty interesting in the end, and that was also sent to a guy that we know in abroad, who put it together for us and made it to a video. But it's just made out of our own like dedication to take the camera and get out of your comfort zone and just film.
Great job on that. And do you plan on any future music or lyrical videos to promote Hiding from the World, or is that something that you don't know yet?
Nah, right now we don't know, because now it's just it's getting closer to the release date, and there is only like 7 full songs on this album, so we don't want to share too much either before it's out there. So I know some radio stations have picked some different songs and played them on the air, but the official ones that is out now is just the 2 songs that we have made videos for. And then hopefully we can do like a live, as I talked about, doing a live, if it's a release party or something like that, where we play all the songs in live then. So
I wish you the best with that. That would be beautiful. And you mentioned your graphics business. I'm curious to know if you have any updates on that. digital design we're talking about, the Facebook.com DigiDesign AS, capital letters. During this COVID, you were able to do business, or?
Yeah, it's more going up and down. There's a lot of my customers has been forced to shut down, or they are kind of sitting on. They don't know if they want to spend money on the marketing, because my work is in marketing, like brochures and catalogs and promotion for companies. So, and they are kind of holding back as well. So especially I'm doing like tourist information brochures and maps and stuff like that. And when there's no tourists, there is no need for service like that. So I felt it, and also, but on the positive side, I can work from wherever. So I can be home working as long as there is internet connection. I can work from wherever. So yeah, it's like I think it's difficult for everyone in this. In all businesses, I guess. So, yeah.
You have a good business that you can work at your convenience, right from home, as long as you have the internet, like you said. So that's a good thing. And Oddleif, is there anything you'd like to say to your fans, both old and new, that are tuning in at this time? Anything that you'd like to say to them?
We are just happy that people are still interested in listening to us, and I just hope that people spend some time on it, and because I think our world of music will open up if you listen to it more than once, and if you give it a little bit chance to dive into it, it will give you more and more stuff that is kind of getting discovered as you travel into our world.
Well, Oddleif, I want to say again, it was truly an honor having you on the Metal Meltdown again. It was a pleasure to talk to you again about the latest from Communic. I think we caught all the fans up to speed, but I want to make sure we touched all the bases. So that being said, is there anything else that you would like to bring out to the listeners that we have not talked about?
I think we have it. I think people should go, if they haven't heard about us before, you probably play some of our songs, and they should go check it out. All the albums is out on the streaming service, and just pick your favorite one and go and check it out.
Yes, and I'll definitely make sure that they know more about you if they don't know about you yet.
Well, thanks for your support.
Yeah, this was a pleasure for me, and I'm looking forward to the next time. And the time after that, you'll always have my support. You can be a regular on Metal Meltdown.
That's great.
I love talking with you. And again, thank you for an excellent interview, Oddleif. I wish you and everyone in Communic to stay safe. And before you know it, hopefully this pandemic is over with, and you can do more of the live shows that I know you want to do. I'm looking forward to the next opportunity, and I wish you a lot of success for this new offering. And how about we go crank up more Communic now and crank it up loud?
Yeah.